Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. US President Joe Biden says he is not leaving US presidential race. Says Trump poses a serious threat. Former Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, all set to become Prime Minister for the second time, stakes claim to lead new government after incumbent PM Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachand loses trust vote. DD Robocon 2024 starts today in New Delhi. Excitement is palpable. 46 teams participating in two-day event. Winner to represent India in Vietnam. And in sports, Novak Djokovic advances to Wimbledon final, sets up rematch against defending champion Carlos Alcaraz. US President Joe Biden has once again reiterated his commitment to the presidential race. While addressing supporters in Detroit, Biden declared that he is not leaving the presidential race and warned that Republican Donald Trump poses a serious threat. Earlier the same day, Biden made an unscheduled visit to a restaurant in Detroit suburb where he told diners his intention to finish the job.
You probably noticed there's been a lot of speculation lately. What's Joe Biden going to do? Is he going to stay in the race? Is he going to drop out? Here's my answer. I am running and we're going to win. I'm not going to change that. I'm the nominee of the Democratic Party, the only Democrat or Republican who has beaten Donald Trump ever. And I'm going to beat him again. I know him. Donald Trump is a loser.
More US Democratic lawmakers told President Joe Biden that it's time to step aside as calls grow for him to suspend his re-election bid. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries met Biden at the White House late on Thursday to convey the concerns of House Democrats. While influential mega donors are reportedly holding back $90 million of fundraising until President drops out. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
Well, with a dogged determination, Joe Biden has made it clear that he is remaining in the race. He hit the campaign trail on Friday, heading to the swing state of Michigan before campaign stops in Texas and Nevada in the early and middle part of next week. As he puts it, he's trying to allay fears to show people that he's up to the job, so has set himself a rigorous campaign schedule over the next few days. But we learnt on Friday of a late-night meeting on Thursday after that press conference between the president and the House Minority Leader, Democrat Hakeem Jeffries. We're told Jeffries expressed concerns from Democrats on Capitol Hill and talked about a possible path forward. We're also told that Jeffries did not offer the president his endorsement. Well, throughout Friday, we've seen more defections from House Democrats who have put their hand up to say they can no longer support the president. And we also learned that mega donors are putting their money on hold. $90 million worth of pledges for the president have been frozen by those mega donors. They say they will not unfreeze the money for the Democratic campaign until Joe Biden steps aside. But some key allies of the president have given interviews in which they've shown their full support for him, including California Governor Gavin Newsom, who in many respects has been considered as someone who could potentially replace Biden at the top of the ticket. But he said he's not entertaining any ideas of forcing the president aside. He said he was all in with Biden. And then there's the key South Carolina congressman, Jim Clyburn, who said he was fully behind Biden's re-election plan, although he did admit that he would support Vice President Kamala Harris if there was a change at the top of the ticket. It is potentially going to be a difficult weekend ahead for President Biden, with more Democrats possibly coming forward telling him it's time to step aside. Nick Harper in Washington, reporting for DD India.
And ahead of the upcoming US presidential elections 2024, Meta has announced that it would end restrictions on former President Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts. The tech company's announcement came on Friday in the days immediately after the January 6, 2021 Capitol insurrection. Trump's accounts were suspended after the company determined that his posts had potentially fueled the violence that took place that day. Former President Trump was also banned from social media platform Twitter, now called X. However, his account was restored in 2022. Robocon 2024 kicks off in style in India's New Delhi at Alcaraz Stadium. The event, organized by IIT Delhi in collaboration with Prasar Bharati, is witnessing the participation of 150 plus students from across the country. Around 46 teams are participating in the competition, and the winners will be playing the final in Vietnam this year in the month of August. DD India's Deepika Mehta got in conversation with students who talks about their preparations for the event. Take a listen.
Samina, when we talk about this competition, please explain us a bit about the format of this.
Yeah, so this is basically like an Asia Pacific competition where every year they come up with a theme. Now this year the hosting team is Vietnam, and the theme is all about rice planting and harvesting. So right now we have 3 separate areas in the game field. So the first area, as you can see, we have seedlings that the bots have to pick up and plant. Then in the second area, there's balls that we have to throw into the third area, which is what they call as harvesting. And then finally, we have to pick up the balls that were thrown and then put them in the silos or the baskets. So one of the robots is manually controlled and the second one is autonomous, which means it's working all on its own.
All right. And also, Atharv, you are also from Maharashtra representing this team. Since how long have you been preparing for this?
Like 1 year, after last match, last year's match. From that time we are preparing, we have made another team, we have recruited new members and we have made these bots.
All right, thank you so much for talking to us. All the very best to your entire team. So there you heard from Team Maharashtra. They are all set to represent their state, and they are preparing for this event since past 1 year, since the time the last competition took place. And now they have created their own robots who are all set to perform at the league phase here in DD Robocon 2024. With camera person Lalit, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from New Delhi.
All right, and my colleague Deepika Mehta is there at Alcaraz Stadium. She's covering DD Robocon 2024. Hello, Deepika. A very good afternoon to you. What latest are you getting for us? And what's different this time around? We got to know that one robot has to be the automatic one. Apart from that, what is different and how is excitement building up?
Completed 12 matches so far. League matches.
Good afternoon, Siddharth. You can see behind me, I would also request the camera person to pan the camera and show you the visuals. The league phase is currently going on of DD Robocon 2024. There are the visuals. And now, after a very quick and short break, the lunch break, the teams are now gearing up for another league match. Now, interestingly, this is a very interesting event which is called DD Robocon 2024, where Prasar Bharati has collaborated with IIT Delhi to make it a grand success here in New Delhi. Around 46 teams are participating, and today is the league day where the league phases will be taking place. Tomorrow the semi-finals and the finals will be happening, and the eventual winner will be going to Vietnam to represent their state, their college and the country at an international level. So here DD Robocon 2024 is witnessing a perfect amalgamation of sports, technology and what can be called as a perfect competition, which is being showcased to the entire world through the different platforms of Doordarshan. And not only this, DD has also managed and arranged for a live streaming of the entire event on its different platforms, be it DD Sports or different DD national online links where the viewers can go and see it, because this is also altogether a very good learning skill. Talking about what is different this time, which you asked, Siddharth, this time we are having a different theme, which is harvest today. Earlier it was Lagori, and before that it was a different theme, and this time, considering the very rich nature of India, which is agriculture, harvesting and collaborating that with a perfect amalgamation of technology is the theme of this time. So players and the participants who are here, they have strategized their robots, which are self-made, which have been made and created by the students only, as to prepare and win this tournament. So they sow it, they seep it, and then they win the tournament, which is divided into different stages, different timings, and eventually they would be looking forward to win this coveted title. Siddharth.
Definitely, Deepika. This is a wonderful collaboration between Prasar Bharati and IIT Delhi. This will give certainly the students a platform to showcase their skills. Now, Deepika, we saw your report also, and even I was there at Tyagaraj Stadium yesterday when I was having a word with participants. They were really excited, and some of them, they were saying that they have worked on their weaknesses, and this time around, they are here to win this tournament. How is the excitement amongst the participants?
The participants are very much excited, and not only this, there are viewers who are joining to watch this tournament in the Alcaraz Stadium of New Delhi from different part of the state also. And if you talk about the enthusiasm of the participants, nothing can beat it, because they've been preparing for this very particular tournament since past 1 year. Since past 1 year, when they were given the theme, they were preparing, strategizing, and technologically boosting their robots in the terms of how can they can make the robots better, so that they not only perform better, they perform fast, and they adapt all the requirements on a very quick basis when they are on the field of play. So there you can see a change altogether. Last time, if you talk about the winners, Gujarat were the College of Gujarat was the winner. This time we've seen once again the reigning champions perform really good in the opening session of today in the league phase, and now other teams are performing. There are two corners, red and blue corner. You can see behind me the match is about to begin once again in the league phase. Let's see who holds the coveted title this time. But if we talk about the enthusiasm, it is really high, Siddharth.
Definitely, we certainly can see that behind you, Deepika. And we also hope that you are having fun there covering this event. Thank you so much for all those details. We'll keep taking updates from you, Deepika. And a second stage engine on SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket suffered a rare malfunction in space during a routine Starlink mission, imperiling the satellites in the company's first rocket failure in more than 7 years. Roughly an hour after Falcon 9 lifted off from the Vandenberg Space Force Base, the rocket's second stage in space failed to reignite and deployed its 20 Starlink satellites into a much lower orbit than planned, where they risk burning up in Earth's atmosphere. North Korea denounces the declaration at the recent NATO summit. North Korea bristled Saturday at NATO summit declaration that condemned its weapons exports to Russia, casting it as an illegal document and warning of strong strategic counteraction. NATO leaders released the declaration in which they strongly condemned the North's arms exports to Russia and voiced great concern over the two countries' deepening partnership. All right, and still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Coli bacteria oracle foresees Spanish victory at the Euro finals. And the Olympic flame will arrive in Paris on Sunday.
What is happening to the link between the diaspora and Mother India, how they see India's rise, and what is the role of the diaspora in propelling India's rise?
See, being here firsthand, all the infrastructural changes, the talks about transformation, I feel very proud.
As a member of the diaspora, we think that India is a country that is rich in culture, and at the same time its economic advancements and technology.
To bring this knowledge to the people there and to stimulate people on building relationships with each other and with India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch, dedicate to the nation and lay foundation stones for various infrastructure projects worth $300 billion in Mumbai, including two key twin tunnel projects, including new platforms at Lokmanya Tilak Terminus and Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus Station, and crucial road, railway and port sector ventures. The Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone for the Thane-Borivali Tunnel project worth 16,600 crore rupees during his visit. Prime Minister will also inaugurate several key infrastructure projects. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India will organize the first edition of the World Audio Visual and Entertainment Summit from 20 to 24 November this year. The summit will be hosted in Goa in collaboration with the state government of Goa. This memorandum of understanding is hereby made and entered into for the first edition of waves by and between the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India on the one part and the Government of Goa on the other part. Updates from the Himalayan nation Nepal now. Former Nepal PM KP Sharma Oli has staked claim to lead a new government. In fact, after incumbent PM Pushpakamal Dahal Prachand lost the trust vote. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachand submitted his resignation to President Ram Chandra Podel on Friday evening. Dahal was compelled to either step down or demonstrate his majority in parliament after his biggest ally, the Liberal, Communist, Unified Marxist-Leninist party headed by Oli, withdrew their support. Oli, who has served as Prime Minister twice before, reached an agreement with the Nepali Congress at the end of June, securing enough seats for a majority. The agreement, inked on July 2nd at midnight, also envisages NC chief Sher Bahadur Deoba succeeding Oli after about 22 months for the latter half of the current tenure of parliament. UML is the largest party in Nepal's parliament and NC is the second largest. And one dead body recovered from rescue operation in the Narayani River after two buses collided got swept away in landslide the other day. Teams of Nepali Army, Nepal Police and armed police personnel, including deep divers, are at the incident site. More than 50 families are suffering following the accident. Among the passengers who were in fatal accident, 3 people have survived miraculously by swimming out of the flooded river. On to sports now. A new women's champion will be crowned at Wimbledon on Saturday when surprise finalists Jasmine Paolini and Barbora Krejcikova face each other. Paolini is vying to become Italy's first Wimbledon singles champion, while her opponent is hoping to continue the Czech Republic's proud record in the championships. Krejcikova had only won 3 matches in 5 months before the tournament after struggling with illness and injury. The two 28-year-olds have taken advantage of an open women's draw and are now 1 match away from lifting the famous Venus Rosewater dish. In men's singles, Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic will set up a repeat of their epic 2023 final on Sunday. Alcaraz finally found his A game to reach his second straight Wimbledon final as the champion overcame an erratic first set to beat Medvedev 6-7, 6-3, 6-4, 6-4 in the semi-final. Meanwhile, several times champion Djokovic produced some of his best tennis to outclass Musetti 6-4, 7-6, 6-4 and reaches a 10th Wimbledon final. All right, my colleague Narayan Singh joins us on that story. Hello Narayan, good afternoon to you. There is no doubt about the fact that everyone will be glued to their television screens when Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz will play the final of Wimbledon 2024. How do you analyze that match, Narayan?
Well, Siddharth, a very big match considering the fact that Novak Djokovic, a veteran of the game, having 24 Grand Slam titles under his belt and the 7 Wimbledon titles he won, and one short of the Roger Federer's 8th title at the Wimbledon. And on the other hand, the gen next of the tennis, we can say that Carlos Alcaraz, he has 3 titles under his belt and all are on the different surfaces. And in that sense, it's a big match considering the fact that Sunday will be a big day for the Spanish sports fraternity because at one side, the Spanish football team will be up against England in the Euro final, and here the Carlos Alcaraz, the Spanish tennis player, will be up against Djokovic. So it could be a big day for the Spanish sports fan. And apart from that, Djokovic, we know that what kind of player he is.
He's lethal, Narayan. He's lethal.
We know that the stature of the Novak Djokovic in French Open, he has to pull out because of a tear in his knee, and after that he was operated, and again there were doubts over his participation in the Wimbledon, but now we can say that he is one step away from creating a milestone towards his 25th Grand Slam, and he can shatter the record of Margaret Court. Margaret Court had 24 titles, and he can beat his record also, and also equal the record of the veteran. We can say that Roger Federer's 8 Wimbledon titles.
Definitely, Narayan, you said that right. On Sunday, on one hand, where Novak Djokovic will play, against Carlos Alcaraz, the eyes will also be glued on the television screens when Euro 2024 will be up on the screens. Thank you for all those updates, Narayan. The Olympic flame is set to arrive in Paris on Sunday as part of celebrations to mark France's national day, Bastille Day. There will be a military parade and flyover, and the torch relay will also hit the streets of French capital. Thousands of police officers will be on duty in Paris to ensure security as the games approach. DD India correspondent Ross Cullen reports.
After travelling thousands of kilometres across France and also to France's overseas territories, the Olympic flame will make its grand entrance to Paris on Sunday. There will then be a 2-day torch relay with the flame visiting all corners of the French capital, and also a cauldron outside City Hall will be lit. The flame then departs Paris once more and then returns definitively to the French capital in time for the Olympic opening ceremony on Friday, the 26th of July, now under 2 weeks away. The French Interior Ministry, the police and the intelligence services have been working overtime to ensure the safety of spectators and also those taking part in the torch relay, and to make sure they disrupt and stop any possible threats. Ross Cullen in Paris reporting for DD India.
All right. Germany's most unique sports oracle predicted on Friday a Spanish victory in the Euro final. Microbiologist Marcus Egertz interpreted a Spanish victory after coli bacteria grown in a petri dish made to resemble a football pitch favored the British penalty box. The bacteria oracle had a good track record up to the German-Spain matchup, where the bacteria wrongly foresaw German victory. However, Egertz is undeterred by the bacteria's wrong prediction and has already plans to potentially use bacteria from a football player's foot or a football for their World Cup bacteria oracle. Spain will take on England in the Euro title clash on Sunday. And ahead of the upcoming final match against Spain on Sunday, England midfielder Declan Rice said that the English team was hungry and talking among themselves about how much they wanted to win the title. During the last press conference at their base camp, Rice said that the team was ready for the game.
Again, it's a massive moment for our nation. Getting to the final back in 2020. You obviously don't think that moment could be topped, but obviously we're now back in another final back-to-back, which is history in itself. But now we're obviously aiming to do one more, and we don't want to just keep talking about it as in we're getting to finals and we're happy with that. We now want to be a country where we win and we can continue to grow, with the young players that we have coming through for the next generations, that England can be a really big force.
Preparations are building in Berlin as the German capital prepares to host the grand final of Euro 2024. Sunday's game will see Spain take on England in a battle for one of football's most coveted trophies. From Berlin, DD India correspondent Trent Murray has more details on the match build-up.
Well, the clock is well and truly counting down now to this huge football clash on Sunday between England and Spain. Already, the German capital is abuzz as football fans begin to arrive here from all over Europe, but in particular Spain and England, as you might imagine. We know that this game is already sold out, 75,000 seats at Berlin Olympic Stadium. For fans that can't snag a spot at the game itself, well, there's many public viewing zones, not just here, but right across the country. I'm actually here right now at the Brandenburg Gate viewing zone. We do expect this to reach capacity on Sunday, 30,000 people here, as well as just behind me there at the Parliament, there is a second viewing zone. The police here are preparing for a big day. Security, obviously a huge concern, making sure that we don't see those scenes of ugly violence and hooliganism. We did see some of that, unfortunately, in Dortmund overnight when England played the Netherlands. Authorities here are hoping to not have a repeat of that. Also, interestingly, of course, being Germany, there is a discussion about beer. Now, why am I saying that? Well, the British government, the embassy here, has put out a warning to England fans that beer in Germany is actually stronger than back in England, and has advised people to drink responsibly. Of course, when you combine strong beer with these summer temperatures, it can be a bit of a recipe for disaster, both from a health perspective and also a security perspective. It's just one of many aspects of this huge football tournament, but overall, the feeling is one of excitement. There is a buzz here as this crucial match between Spain and England gets ready to kick off 9 p.m. local time right here in Germany. Trent Murray for DD India, Berlin.
All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.